I have made a lot of Ukraine videos. Before I start this one, please like, share, subscribe, comment. I like comments. Ukraine. I've made a lot of videos on Ukraine. I talked about how Vladimir Zelenskyy, whatever his name is, on the first video I did, we had given $40 billion to Ukraine. And it progressed to over 100, and I believe $112 billion to Ukraine. Finally, our government started
I'm not passing judgment on the morality of what they're doing. Of course, it's their territory, Jake, but you have to acknowledge military reality on the ground. If they're going to waste a ton of money, a ton of lives, and a ton of ammunition on a counteroffensive strategy, but a defensive strategy might actually work, we've got to choose the strategy that might actually work.
But the counteroffensive is within Ukrainian territory. Just today, Zelenskyy was suggesting that the strike by Iran on Israel should serve as a wake-up call in terms of this greater battle, and maybe you disagree with people who see it this way, between autocracies and democracies, Israel being a democracy, as is Ukraine, Iran and Russia being autocracies. What do you say to that?
Well, I think foreign policy is not a nursery rhyme, and it should serve as a wake-up call, but it should serve as a wake-up call that we have to rebuild our own industrial base.
Vladimir Zelenskyy, at the very outset, when we were supporting him hardcore, kept saying, I'm not going to negotiate. I'm not going to negotiate. We won't go to the negotiating table because we're paying for everything. If we said, hey, you have no choice, you need to go, you need to sit down and have some talks, we have to end this, he would have no choice. But because Biden knows him a solid, this is just an endless war. And the Democrats and Republicans are all in. When's the last time you heard normal conversation about nuclear fallout?
The president warning the risk of nuclear Armageddon has not been this high since the Cuban Missile Crisis, amid the threats from Vladimir Putin. The president saying Putin is not joking. As the Russians face serious setbacks in Ukraine, President Biden saying the threat of the use of nuclear weapons has not been this high since Kennedy and Cuba. President Biden also acknowledging the administration is asking what so many around the world, what so many here in the U.S. are asking. President Biden asking, quote, what is Putin's off-ramp?
You may want to look up the definition of Armageddon. A sitting president called Armageddon inevitable, and nobody says anything. No reporters are like, whoa, what are you talking about? How did it get this far this fast? No one's doing that. Our press is so corrupt. They're just like, yeah, man, oh man, I can't believe he's about to use nukes. So what does our president do? He still keeps going to try to make agreements and treaties with Iran. That's weird, because we didn't need to make an agreement with them. We shored up the entire Middle East without them. What is Iran doing in the meantime? They're supplying and helping Russia. So we're supposedly helping Ukraine fight Russia. And then while we're doing this, we're making agreements with Iran, who is helping Russia fight Ukraine, and by proxy, us. So we're helping Iran fight us. We're helping them get a nuke because they need the nuclear power. Although they've never said why. Now, their leaders have said why. They want to nuke us. One's Vladimir. The problem with that is he didn't have the means to say something like that because he's using my money. He's using your money. So every time he said stuff like that, it would really, really, really get under my skin, because I gave remedies to what we can do with the $40 billion. And then it went up to like 60, then 90, then 100, and 112. I was saying, well, wait a minute, we can use this in the black community in America. Since it's my money, why would we send it to these people who aren't even an ally? Well, they're an ally, but they're not even a NATO ally. We have no obligation to send these people money. Every time Biden got up there and said, we're going to do whatever it takes. We're going to stick through it to the end. We're going to do this as long as it takes.
We're meeting today as Russia continues to target Ukraine's civilians and bombard its energy grid. But Russia's deliberate cruelty only deepens our resolve.
Russia could end this war today. Russia could put an end to it right now. But they won't. They're going to continue that fight. They're going to continue that fight into the winter as best we can tell. And we, the United States, under the direction of the President and the Secretary of Defense, we will continue to support Ukraine for as long as it takes to keep them free, sovereign, independent, with their territory intact.
We're fighting a proxy war for people who are anti-Christian and anti a lot of things that this country stands for, which makes it even worse. Anyway, knowing all of what I said in the past 2 years, we are now at the point where they are saying, hey, you guys gotta support us. We need more money. We need more money. We need more money.
Ukraine never asked the American soldiers to fight on our land instead of us. I assure you that Ukrainian soldiers can perfectly operate American tanks and planes themselves.
Here, the authorities are trying to stop their citizens from getting out. They're needed in the army. It's short of recruits. But there are thousands of Ukrainians, like these men caught near the border with Romania, who do not want to fight. Some call them traitors. Others say they're weak. But every day, the authorities catch men suspected of dodging the draft. And the number of deserters is expected to climb as the government lowers the enlistment age from 27 to 25. In December, the army said it needed up to 500,000 more troops. It's a very sensitive matter, said President Zelenskyy, but he has bowed to the wishes of his generals.
Your money is not charity. It's an investment in the global security and democracy that we handle in the most responsible way.
So what exactly happened? Over the last few days, numerous Ukrainian officials were fired from their posts or arrested after several faced allegations of corruption in the country's media. Then, President Zelenskyy's own deputy chief of staff resigned after journalists revealed that he had acquired a habit of using expensive sports cars to travel around the country. This happened even as the country's economy was being decimated by Russian missiles. In total, several key ministers, 5 deputy ministers, and numerous regional governors and top officials have either been fired or asked to resign from their jobs in a matter of days.
Ukraine's security services have caught some defence ministry officials who stole 37 million euros that were supposed to buy mortar shells for the war effort. Some of the employees from the arms firm who conspired with the officials to embezzle the money were also apprehended. The SUB said late on Saturday that 5 people have been charged, including one who was detained trying to leave Ukraine. If found guilty, they face up to 12 years in prison.
We're putting so much money into an endless pit. And our politicians are money laundering through there still. So the citizen is finally saying, all right, what are we doing there again? Who are these people? Why is this our priority? Why was this brought up during the State of Our Union address? Leading into the elections, Biden's pretending he's going to give some student loan forgiveness again, lying, saying he's going to, I think, 150,000 students or 200,000 students. He's going to relieve you guys, even though he didn't do it this first term. It's not going to happen. Don't fall for it. It's election year. This is what we do. This is what we do, right? We get all excited. Oh my gosh, Trump's coming back. You know who should be excited about Trump coming back, especially if he wins? Every other country on this side of the world. Every Western country. You know why? Because the economies will boost. I just heard a friend talking about this on his channel. Sub up to Bolo VNR. He's talking about the economy, not just Jamaican economy where he is, but the economy overall. A strong U.S. is a strong globe, a strong Western society. That should be the goal. Not fighting a war against Russia while Russia's fighting against Nazis. Kind of want to stay out of that one. What do you think?